Good leases are so hard to come by that we're tempted to grab anything and everything we can get. But taking on every lease that becomes available can make us so busy and keep us stretched so thin that we run ourselves ragged. None of the properties produce enough income. We're always on the road. The result is that we're no further ahead, and maybe we're even further behind. Further behind because we're always exhausted. Each new lease seems like an opportunity, but some of those leases that seemed like opportunities often turn out to be distractions. They're distractions because they keep us so busy that we don't have time or energy to find the breakthrough that could have made a real difference. Of course, increasing capacity by leasing land is important for many of us. But rather than jumping on every lease that becomes available, I recommend you list the criteria you'll use to judge the opportunity. For example, what's the minimum capacity that would make it worthwhile? That may vary with the distance to your property. It may be worth leasing the neighbor's place if you'll be able to run 30 or 40 more cows. But the minimum number might be 200 or 300 cows if the property is 30 or 40 miles away. How far from home are you willing to go? Are you willing to relocate if the lease is big enough? What's the minimum margin that it must contribute to your business to be worth doing? I look at each lease as though it was an independent enterprise with its own gross margin. What overheads will it add to your operation? Would you need another employee? How often would you have to be there? How much will it cost? You ought to figure in the value for vehicle use. We use 50 cents a mile at Ranch Management Consultants, but with a larger rig, it should probably be more. And what's your time worth? If it takes 2 hours to get there and back, and you go there 3 times a week for 6 months in the grazing season, at $20 an hour, that's $3,100 just in travel time, not counting vehicle cost. And if it's a 60-mile round trip to get there and back, add another $2,300 for mileage. So the gross margin had better be a whole lot more than just $5,400. Now, add in the other overheads for labor. The labor costs that you wouldn't have if you didn't have the lease. Infrastructure, maintenance, and repair. The lease cost itself. And add it all up. Let's say that everything, including travel time, the mileage, the lease cost, let's say it comes to $40,000. Well, the gross margin from the lease had better be a lot more than $40,000. The point is, there is some minimum profit below which the lease isn't an opportunity, it's a distraction. If you have several leases, figure the minimum profit that each lease must contribute to your business to be worth keeping. Then treat each lease as an independent enterprise. Look at the gross margin the lease produces, subtract the overheads that you'd lose if you didn't have that lease, and see how it stacks up. If it doesn't meet or exceed your minimum profit target, it's not an opportunity, it's a distraction. Let it go and get to work finding your breakthrough.